Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I would be sharing something really informative in this video. I believe that baking is both a science and an art. Sometimes while baking we follow the recipe accurately, like measuring the ingredients properly, not overmixing our batter, but still we end up with a cake looking like this, like having cracks on the top, or sometimes it becomes overly dense. But if we understand the right reasons why it happens, we can actually save ourselves from making these baking blunders. And today's video is all about it. Also, at the end of the video, I would be sharing 3 simple and very useful baking techniques, and trust me, if you really stick to them, you'll always end up baking a perfect cake. Well, if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, then please subscribe and join our YouTube family, and also don't forget to press the bell icon because I upload videos every week. Now let's get started. First, a sunken cake. This generally happens when your cake is underbaked or the oven temperature is very low. This is the most common reason because the cake isn't fully baked and therefore the center doesn't have a chance to set and it sinks. It also results in a very dense structure. The second possibility could be adding too much baking powder or baking soda, which causes the cake to rise too high very quickly. The gas builds up and escapes before the cake bakes through the center. Another possibility could be overmixing your cake batter. The last possibility could be opening the oven doors very frequently, because this can cause partially baked cake layers to sink in the middle and the cake collapse and is not able to rise properly. Next is dry cake. If your cake turns out to be very dry, then this can be a result of baking your cake in a too hot oven. So for best results, always monitor it every 10 minutes, making adjustments as needed. This can also occur if your cake is overly baked or if the dry ingredients in your batter are in a higher ratio than the wet ingredients. Next one are crack cakes. Cakes generally crack when the oven temperature goes very high, because then the outside of the cake cooks at much faster rate than the inside. Now let's talk about dense cake. Well, there can be many reasons why your cake always turns out to be very dense. The first reason could be adding too much flour, because it can create a very dense and gummy consistency. Also, over mixing the batter can result in a heavy cake and cause the cake to fall flat. Lastly, over baking can also be a result for dense cakes. Broken cake. It can occur again if the oven temperature is very high, which causes the cake to crack. Also, if there's too much leavening agents like baking powder or baking soda in your cake batter, that can also cause the cake to rise too quickly, making it crack or spill over the sides of the tin. So these were the common mistakes that you need to avoid while baking cake. I hope this information is really gonna help you a lot. Now let's talk about 3 most simple and useful baking tips which you can follow to bake a perfect cake and prevent these baking mishaps. Tip number 1, always check the expiry date of baking powder and baking soda before using it. This is a very common problem. A box of baking powder or baking soda, once it's opened, it stays fresh up to 6 months. If you use the expired one, it is not able to react properly and it results in a flattened cake. Tip number 2, don't open the oven door frequently while the cake is baking. This is a very common mistake again and can cause the cake to collapse. And the last tip is follow the recipe accurately and always measure your ingredients properly by using measuring cups and spoons. Follow these baking tips, and if you like the video, then please subscribe it and do share it. Also, don't forget to press the bell icon so that you stay updated whenever I post a new video.